my granddad number twos. So today is day 20 of our 20-day sojourn across the United States, and we're now back at SAU Magnolia campus to drop off our young prodigies, Blakely and Trey, at Teen College. They had a great day yesterday. We're hoping to have another great day today. Blakely found a really cool Eastern Hercules beetle. I looked up what type of beetle it was. We're going to try to get that in resin, but I'm really excited. We're going to try to work on that project tomorrow. I've got several little projects left to do with the kids before we finish up this trip. But today is going to be really exciting. I have to get a bit of work done at my mom's home. But right now, it's all about dropping off the kids.
Feels like 12:30.
So we're the only parents walking them to the door. All the other parents just throw them out, said go. And look, you see how they're walking faster to get farther and farther away from us?
That's how they do it.
We can stop right here then. No, they're in that mode. That means it's a good program. And they had a lot of fun yesterday. You can look at their body language and their activities and kind of how they're acting and how eagerly they're walking into that door.
So I do feel better about it. I can see all the other kids going in, and they're slowly just like strolling in, ready to go in for today's lessons and whatnot, and that's really good. It sounded like they had a lot of fun yesterday, so I just can't wait to hear what they had to say about it and, just their overall experience about what they've been doing.
As I didn't attend this college, I've never really been on this campus. Blair and I are going to walk around a little bit. It's a beautiful campus, well laid out. We're just going to take a look around a little bit and see what it looks like up close. There's this really unique, almost post-industrial, post-apocalyptic iron tower.
It's going off at 10.
Yeah, it's a bell tower, but that is a lot of iron. It's just a giant lightning rod. So this is the center courtyard. I don't know if they call it the yard or what they call it on this campus, but there's this old magnificent oak tree here, a couple of cypress trees. That's a little out of place. A magnolia tree. Evidently they had a botanist here at some point to put in these trees. Historical, but it's shaded under here. It's the coolest place out here under this big oak tree. That is a very old magnolia. Magnolias don't grow very quickly. And so to see one that is this tall and this large means again that this was all put in probably 1920s, 1930s, as the establishment of the campus in 1910, a really long time ago. The cypress trees are what's most impressive though. You see oak trees everywhere here, but the cypress trees, normally you only see these down around, lakes and rivers, marshes. You don't normally see them away from that location, so you know that they were clearly planted here. They appear to be thriving. They appear to be doing really good. I love the campuses that are like this, that are outside of the town, kind of has its own space, just clearly has hundreds and hundreds of acres here connected. This is the agricultural college, and I went to a college that was very similar. My college had like 600 acres. I'm pretty sure they have a lot of space here as well. And I like that better than the city colleges. No, city colleges are great for some people, but I love the fact that we can have this campus and it just feels more inclusive to just that university. Aside from the university students, you won't have a lot of people here. In city colleges, you have a lot of randos just roaming around, roaming through the campus a lot of times. Blair did a college in Richmond University of, which one was that?
Virginia Commonwealth.
Virginia Commonwealth was kind of in the city.
It's very much in the city.
Yeah, just
That was a very different experience. Yeah, for my grad experience, I did Virginia Commonwealth University, and that was a very different experience since it was located in the heart of Richmond, Virginia. I had never been on a college before that it wasn't separate from the rest of the city or the town it was in. So being in Richmond was just different because you would see college students and then just local residents just walking through your campus at any given point. The buildings weren't as close, no, they were very close together actually because it was a city. So they had city blocks of college space. And then you cross the street and you're off the college and it was back to being regular Richmond. My undergrad experience was more like this. It was my university or institute sat at the top of a hill and the town was below.
so the most distinctive feature is this tower. It is the most eye-catching, and it is something right out of a post-apocalyptic world. That's what I'm thinking. I guess because it's broody, it's dark, it's that iron color, right?
It's the iron.
And it's very unique, but it is the most impressive and imposing structure on this campus. We may be dropping kids off here again in a few years. The whole aspect of having these programs is to get kids introduced to your school and have them familiar with your college, and sometimes they decide, hey, I want to go to that college. And that's part of the reason we brought the kids here. It's not a bad school to go to. Again, I have a lot of family members, some that work here and many that have graduated from here. So if my kids end up attending SAU Magnolia, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, the golf carts. There's a culture here. Morning.
I think SAU is a really good college for Blakely and Trey to have their first college experience at. It's a good sized school where they can see all the different things that college has to offer as far as experiences and majors and wide exposure to different things on campus.
The stadium is nice. It's a nice stadium. It's a little smallish, right? It's more along the line of what I would expect to see at a high school, especially considering some of the high schools here. Even the Dawson Athletic Complex over there, I can show you, and I think I will put it later on in this video, that El Dorado High School has the exact same thing, and that's a high school. So the athletics programs, supported, but not expensive.
Just so we can be clear, we're in the region of the South that really believes in Friday Night Lights or football. So MacArthur is really referencing he thinks this stadium should be big. I think this is a sizable stadium for a university. And I get it. My university didn't have the biggest football field or whatnot when I first got there. It's huge now, but it took a little while to get there.
So this is a local high school, and I want to show you at least part of the athletic facilities. This is the high school football complex, and it looks very much like what we saw at SAU Magnolia. And this is what I was talking about when I said what was at SAU Magnolia is on par with what's at a lot of the high schools, because this is a high school. Keep wanting to get work done outside and in the yard, and on the farm, but it is literally raining like this every single day. Very unusual for this time of year. I would never expect it to rain like this so much in July. I thought it would just be clear, hot, and sunny, but it's been wet, really wet. My mother told me we brought the rain in with us from England. It's a wasp. Get back. It's a wasp. Don't touch that. Get back. It'll bite you. It'll sting. I got it. So we're just trying to fix the dryer, and we have to get this hose and pipe back on it. It's not a hard problem. We just got to get it done.
Go outside.
What are we doing?
We're going to see if the hole outside ain't too big.
Okay.
If it's not, then we can make the hole on the inside bigger.
Let me get my shoes.
Good. Bad. But
Okay,
that's perfect.
so that goes on that way.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That fits this dryer.
When you put it on there, I was like, man, that's snug as a bug in a rug. Yeah, that's
perfect.
that's a perfect fit.
The thing is, I want to see.
This has always been the problem with these things, is that as you get closer to the wall, the space gets a little awkward as far as trying to compress that line without flattening the line. We'll just kind of press it in place.
Let it be pressed back. It shouldn't have any reason to come loose.
So you just kind of need to shove it off in there a little bit more.
Yeah. Gotta get it extended out. It'd probably work better if we could push it straight in.
Well, you're pretty flexible for an older man.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me get low then. Because it's going to...
You can run side to side. How you want to do it? Alright, come on with it. Come on with it. Alright, well. Alright. That's about as far as it's going to go without popping out.
As our time in the U.S. continues to wind down, we're packing up more boxes and shipping them. I told you this is one of our best hacks. We have 3 more boxes that go out today.
No, you ain't gotta be so close.
I don't know what's going on with the weather on this trip. We are trying to go and pick up the kids, Blakely and Trey, and we just run into the second major rain thunderstorm today. Not even talk about the storms yesterday. Today. This is the second one today. And to keep the excitement coming, the lights, the power's still on. It's on red lights, but they stopped switching. Like they're not turning red light, green light. They're not doing it. They're just sitting on red. So everyone is having to treat this very large road like a 4-lane interchange. We just pulled up here to get the kids. I don't have an umbrella. I am not getting out. I think I see them. Oh, look at them. They gave them little ponchos. Nope, those are not my children. Those are other people's children. They look like my children, but not mine. Thought those were mine. Then I saw them running, and I'm like, nah, not my kids. Those kids are too energetic to be mine. Okay. Finally, my children come out. Trey's not even bothering to cover his head. He's one with nature. Blakely looks slightly miserable.
Go to your side, boy. Get it.
What's up?
You should have told us you were there.
How we gonna tell you that we there?
Thought you'd have an umbrella.
Why would we have come with an umbrella? It wasn't raining when we left Mimi's house.
Why didn't you get a jacket, you know?
No, not my responsibility.
Well, it's to keep yourself dry, not us.
I didn't get out the car. I'm dry.
You should have.
I'm dry.
There are a lot of big cars here.
We've been in this car for 3 weeks. You should know it when you see it.
Today, the kids at the summer camp found out that we live in the UK, and they all think that we're from the UK. And they asked us if we met Queen Elizabeth. They knew that she was dead, but they asked us if we met her when she was alive. Yeah. And they asked us about what the things that we did there. And someone kept asking really dumb questions, like, were there funerals in the UK? And, like, do you live in the UK or Great Britain? And stuff like that.
So what'd you tell them? Do you live in the UK or Great Britain? What's the answer?
I live in both. In the first class, we practiced giving CPR to those CPR doll thingies. And then we ate lunch. And then in the next class, we went outside and we looked for like bugs and things to look under a microscope. And I caught a moth, but it got away. And I found another one of the beetle shells, but it was crushed up.
Cicada.
Oh, and I found a cicada mold. In the third class, we practiced how you should hold an animal to get them checked by a vet, and like how you tie casts and stuff on them. And in the fourth class, oh yeah, we made cookies that had cinnamon and sugar coated on them. And then we did a seminar, I guess, about the difference between physical and chemical changes, and we used COH, dextrose, and a blue liquid to show the chemical change.
Today, it was a little bit harder at lunch because like all the seats were like taken, and me and Wickley had to sit in reserved seating.
How are your classes?
My classes, and like in the science class, I found 6 cicada molds, and I think a spider egg.
What other classes are you taking? How was your dessert? What'd you make in dessert class?
We made like balls of coconut flakes.
Okay. Yeah.
They didn't taste good.
Well, here are the glasses that we've been waiting on. I broke my glasses the last day in DC, or next to last day in DC, so I went, had an eye exam done and ordered some new glasses, and now they just got here because Mac also ordered some glasses for himself. 1, 2. Ooh. Oh, vision. It's so nice to see things at a distance because I've been blind for the last week or so.
He's my granddad number 2s. Okay, Trace, your fish. How you feel? Is your first bass?
Good.
Nice little bass. But that's still a baby. Go put him back in the pond. He's too young to eat. Show Uncle Reggie.
I
Go put him back in the water. He's too young. Good catch, Trey. Catch and release. Catch and release.
At least they caught something today.
So a little fishing herd. Y'all did good today? You caught a bass? Gavin Jr., what you catch?
I caught a bluegill.
I got a bite on a catfish.
Okay.
You caught a fish too. Good.
Oh yeah, I caught a bluegill.
Caught a bluegill?
And I caught a bluegill.
Good.
And Trey caught that bass.
Good.
Lord, we come together today to thank you for being able to bring our beautiful family together for another year. I thank you for letting us all sit at the table together as a family and eat this wonderful dinner that Aunt Kim has cooked us. Lord, I thank you for putting a roof over our heads and food in our mouths, Lord. I thank you for taking care of us and lifting us up at our lowest, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, here we are, day 20. I did it. There was a couple snafus. There were a couple snafus towards the end, but I actually managed to pull off 20 days of vlogging. Now, I had a problem on day 19 with the internet, and my computer crashed on me, and then we actually ended up having to go to the ER. So some things were delayed, but I actually vlogged 20 straight days. And it was something I really wanted to do. I came up with this idea leading into this vacation. Say, hey, let me vlog it. Just a daily vlog. I've never done anything like this before. And I wanted to see if I could pull it off. And I did. I pulled it off. And it was hard. It really changed the nature of this entire trip. I had to put in so much time. I had to wake up early. It really put me on a tight schedule. Of course, you film through the day. I move files over at night, go to bed, and then sometimes I would stay up and edit that night. If I had to travel that very next day, I'd have to edit overnight. And in other cases, I would get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm editing all the footage from the day before. I had to think about the story. I had to create the thumbnail. I had to write the description. Like, all of these things have to happen, and then I have to get that video out. 20 straight days, I managed to pull it off. And I call it a success. I mean, I want to come back to that. I call it a success, but I want to come back to that. Let's talk a little bit more about day 19. If you watched the end of that video, you saw we ended up at the ER. And that was, I still don't want to go into a lot of detail about it. It was a hard night. Luckily, everything worked out, what I would say, as best as it possibly could. We didn't get any of the worst outcomes, the potentials that we could have gotten. The medical staff was very professional and extremely helpful and very caring and gentle, and they kind of worked us through the whole situation, and we made it home late that night. And I'll say at the end of it, I think everyone's going to be on the mend and everything's going to end up working out okay. But we did end up in the ER, and we worked really hard. Blair and I both worked really hard to try to keep our children safe, to try to keep them protected, to not end up in situations like that. We haven't had many cases where we've been to the ER a lot with our children. We had some problems, of course, like 6 kids, and you're raising them and things happen. And this was an accident and things happen. But we try our hardest not to be in that situation. So it's really uncomfortable, a lot of high emotions, just a lot of stress. But we made it. At some point in the video in the future, I may go into more detail about what happened. But just know that all the kids they're safe, we're safe, and we're pressing on. So when I started these videos, I was thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about for 20 days in a row, every single day? What am I going to talk about? Is it going to be activity-based? And I kind of came with what I believe was a rhythm of activity and then communication and conversation, because I think YouTube is a conversation-type platform. I'm conversing with you, like I'm talking to you. And I had to feel as though I was talking to a friend. And I also, thought about, okay, what do I want to do? No one wants to just sit there and watch you sit at home all day, so you had to be active. So it pushed me to be more active on this trip than I would be, maybe just a little bit, but then again, we're always active. It's more along the line of I was active in a way that I kind of would always be, but I'm filming that, and I have to think about how do I film our activities that we normally take, and how do I make that something that people will find approachable and would want to watch, and then also get out of your head and think about, it's like, well, no one will want to watch me. No one wants to see this. No one wants to see what I'm doing. But I have to remember, like, no, someone wants to see it, and people who I've asked to communicate back to me and say, hey, tell me, Matt, keep going. I mentioned how that has helped me kind of stay motivated. And then the communication that I've had, the comments from everyone who's kind of watched along through this series, people saying, hey, I'm watching this, I'm going back and I'm looking at more, and I appreciate you doing this video, and I appreciate that aspect of it. I really appreciate that. That gave me the energy and the drive that I needed to kind of keep going. I said from the very beginning that it would be very different, that Washington, D.C. was going to have a feel and a vibe to it. South Carolina was going to have a vibe to it. Arkansas was going to have a different vibe. So I knew that anyone who watched this over the period would be getting a different video type and take based on the different locations and places that we would be. I felt as though the DC was more active. South Carolina was a bit active. I felt as though the Arkansas has been really much more family focused. We haven't traveled to as many places, but that we've been limited. There have been things that I wanted to do that I just can't do. Like tomorrow morning, my brother and I were going to go play golf. He wanted to take me to one of the best golf courses around, but it's raining. It has rained here so much. I wanted to go and pick up petrified wood with the boys, but it's raining. So the rain has really stopped a lot of the physical and outdoor activities that I planned. I wanted to do a lot of work on a farm, some mowing. Can't do that in the rain. So I've been really restricted on what I could do because the weather has been incredibly abnormal for this location. Like, it doesn't rain here in the summer like this, but here we are right now. We're in a third rainstorm. It's nighttime, but this is a third storm. It's kind of toning down, but just a few minutes ago, it was coming down, raining cats and dogs. So I've been limited on what I could get out and do outdoors and activity based. I asked myself the question, would I do this again? And I don't know. I could see myself doing this again. It has been fun. I don't want to make it sound like it hasn't been fun. And I know that people have watched these videos and they really appreciate it. And I love the impact that I've been able to have. You know, I've actually gotten phone calls from a few people that I know, and they mentioned to me that they were brought to tears by some of the aspects of some of the videos that they've looked at. So I know it has had impact. I know people have appreciated it. And so do I see myself potentially doing it again? Yes. Would I maybe do it on my next visit back to the United States? Probably not. If I go to another location, maybe I'll consider doing it. I don't know if I'll do 20 days again. It's a really long time. But maybe 3 days, 5 days, I can see myself doing it again. It definitely has helped me improve my editing abilities, helped me storytell better because I had to think more about how do I create a story. And it's difficult to come up with every single day. Like, okay, now what do I talk about? What do we discuss? What do we learn? What's happening that would be interesting that I could bring people along on a story? And so it's kind of pushed me to be able to come up with those narratives and to figure out how to express that and how to film it and then represent it in a manner that people will find approachable. So I've worked on that and I've learned and I've improved. So from that aspect, it has been good. From the YouTuber aspect, has it been beneficial? I think so. Will it grow the channel exponentially? Probably not. But will it form a deeper connection between me and the people who watch the channel on a regular basis, the loyal viewers, those who I see in the comments? There are some people I know who's never commented who watch the channel, and I understand that. But I also see people in the comments who I see the names, I've learned the names, and I see the comments, and there's some people who I know are following along with our journey, and I can see them in the comments repeatedly. And so I feel as though, and they're telling me like it has had an effect on them. So in that regard, I think this has definitely been a worthwhile venture. It's been worth doing. I've enjoyed sharing as much as I have about myself and about our family and how we live and really what we're doing. And I think that it's been great. The majority of the viewers that I have seen up to this point have been British, and that's really cool. And for my British viewers, thank you. I know some of you care about the US and some of you don't, but to just know that we have some really cool British-based videos already filmed, already ready to go. There were some things that we did right before we left on this trip, and because I've been editing for this trip, I haven't been able to edit those events. So those videos will be coming out pretty soon. I mentioned how this has made me more intentional. It has been quite nostalgic in some ways. I've learned more by doing this than I think I would have learned if I had not done this. I learned a lot about the South Carolina region, Beaufort, Hilton Head, that I was just not aware of. Charleston, I learned a lot in that area where Blair grew up. I learned a lot about that. I've also delved deeper into my own family history and the history of my family. I just didn't know about some of those aspects. So there's always something more to learn. And then the fact that I feel as though that this is something that my children will be able to look at, enjoy. Hopefully maybe the grandchildren can look at this someday and look back and say, oh, well, this is, some family history tied into this. So I've appreciated the opportunity to be able to share that with the people who's watching it now, and for those individuals who will be able to have the opportunity to look at it in the future. And now to the big question. This is day 20. And all along I've said I'm daily vlogging for 20 days. 20 days across America. You've seen how the videos start off. 20 days across America, one big family, one wild ride. 20 days across America, and this is day 20. But you know what? I'm enjoying this so much that I'm going to keep going. We're still on vacation. We have a few more days left, and I'm going to keep going. The intent at first was at day 20, I will stop. I won't film anymore. But I'm enjoying this so much, and I'm appreciating people who's watching this, and I just want to keep it going because I really want you to see what we do here, what we finish up with in Arkansas, but also we're still heading to Tennessee. We've kind of touched on Texas. I don't think we'll be able to go deep into Texas the way I intended to do, but I don't know if we have time for that. But we're still heading to Tennessee, and there's a lot that I want to get to there. So I want you to keep watching because I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep the daily vlogs going. How many days? I don't know. I know I'll be doing it tomorrow, and we'll see where I go from there. I don't anticipate stopping over the next couple of days. If I can, I will keep going over the next few days. We'll see where we end up. So I don't want to make any commitments to say it's going to be exactly a specific amount of days. I'm going to tell you that I will keep going, and I will definitely say this: I will see you tomorrow.